Good morning. The first topic that we're going to tackle is the history of Western thought. And inside this topic, there are three topics that we're going to tackle. The ancient time, um, the medieval, and the modern. And along with this topic, there's a question that asks, what does it mean to be human in each era? First, in ancient. Um, in ancient, it is a worldview in which the cosmos is considered to be the only empirically real entity to provide existential purpose to humanity. In the cosmocentric era, the human person is placed in the cosmos or nature. He is one of the creatures or one of the among presence in the nature. In this era, the cosmos is the principal point of the view of the human person is understood in relationship with it. He has to follow the law, the nature law as others. In the ancient period, numerous Greek or thinkers or philosophers conveyed their description of what was happening in the world, or shall I say, the essences of the existing things in the world and the world itself. Among those thinkers, there were three who were famous back in their time and up until now, and they are Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. During the ancient period, philosophers such as the pre-Socratics, as well as the essence, and those three famous men, their concern was the knowing the origins of things, as well as the essences of man. The mythological explanation of the natural occurrences of the cosmos were rejected by the pre-Socratics because they were unsatisfied with the mythological explanation of the nature of things. And in the second era is that the medieval, which is the theocentric worldview. It is a belief or worldview that God is the central aspect to existence in this view, meaning and the value of actions done to people or the environment are attributed to God. The emergence of Christianity was a historical event that resonated throughout the medieval period. The medieval thinkers and philosophers were mostly concerned with reconciling Greek ideas with Christian doctrine. Or to put it in another way, Christianizing Greek thought with the assistance of Christian teaching. Or to put it in another way, reconciling religion in ancient philosophy. The Greeks had an insight into the essential essence of things. And the Greeks were touching on some fundamental truths about the universe and ourselves according to the medieval philosophers. The truth, according to Christianity, was previously revealed through the Christ who is the embodiment and the personification of the world. Truth, which may explain why medieval philosophers were captivated by Greek intellectuals. The third one is the modern or the anthropocentric worldview. It is a viewpoint arguing that human beings are the central or most significant entities in the world. This is a basic belief embedded in many Western religions and philosophers. Anthropocentrism regards humans as separate from and superior to nature and holds that human life has intrinsic value, while other entities, including animals, plants, mineral resources, and etc., are resources that may justifiable be exploited for the benefit of humankind. The scientific revolution marks the start of the modern period. Knowledge, skepticism, justification, and rationality are all discussed. It inspires us to examine the world critically. It is the foundation of all knowledge. The ultimate promise of modernity is that now that the human reason has been handed the reins, mankind will be able to grow without being hindered by illogical beliefs. and outdated practices. Modern philosophers were united in their belief that human reason will be primarily driving force of human history. We are no longer archaic, and conventional ideas are no longer held. We should only hold views that have been subjected to critical thought and have passed the test of reason. So for the second topic, the modernity and discontents. So, the wonderful thing about this generation of this period is that they have the capacity to use modern science and technology to unlock their potential to achieve great things if used wisely and according to their nature functions. Moreover, in this society, youth are not bound by tradition. This is beneficial because they are able to think outside the box, make their own decisions, and come up with the outcomes that our generation did not consider conceivable. The disadvantage is that they have no respect for anyone, including themselves. Many of them abuse the freedom that has been granted to them as a result of the previous generation's hard work. In this case, the effects are usually negative and lead to a life of misery. The second worst aspect of this period, in my opinion, is that the human beings appear to be capable of collective wisdom. Our world over the earth is heating up, and far too many people are either in denial or unwilling to do what has to be done. And for the third topic, the Nietzsche's injunction to live dangerous. Nietzsche invites us to consider our human nature as a bridge towards something greater, toward the thing he called Übermensch, which means superhuman, a stronger, smarter, and superior creature. Hence, our job as mere humans is to act like it, to live dangerously and to challenge the limits that come with being human, all too human, because that is how you make another step into our evolution towards the Übermensch. Meaning, when someone might as well be your inner voice tells you you cannot do such thing because no human can, and then you might say that is a statement of the weak. I live dangerously in building up to something greater, but say that only to yourself the current slave morality cannot understand. As a human, you must extend yourself beyond what is humanly possible. Be bold, think for yourself, stand against the herd morality, seek power over yourself. This can be achieved simply by mastering your craft more than anyone considered possible. And for the fourth topic, Socrates and the examined life. Socrates believed that philosophy, or the love of wisdom, was the important pursuit above all else. For some, he exemplifies more than anyone else in history the pursuit of wisdom thought through questioning and logical argument, by examining and by thinking. His examination of life in this way spilled out into the lives of others, such that they have begun their own examination of life. But he knew they would all die in one day, as saying that a life without philosophy or an unexamined life was not worth living. And for the final topic, the Camus revolt and absurdity. The central concern of the myth of Sisyphus is what Camus called the absurd. Camus claims that there is a fundamental conflict between what we want from the universe, whether it be meaning, order, or reasons, and what we find in the universe, formless chaos. We will never find in life itself the meaning that we want to find. Either we will discover the meaning through a leap of faith by placing our hopes in a God beyond this world, or we will conclude that life is meaningless. Camus opens the essays by asking if this latter conclusion that life is meaningless necessarily leads one to commit suicide. If life has no meaning, does that mean life is not worth living? If that were the case, we would have no option but to make a leap of faith to commit suicide, says Camus. Camus is interested in pursuing a third possibility, that we cannot accept and live in a world devoid of meaning or purpose. Living with the absurd, Camus suggests, is a matter of facing his fundamental contradiction and maintaining constant awareness of it. Facing the absurd does not entail suicide, but on the contrary, allows us to live to its fullest. Camus identifies three characteristics of the absurd life: the revolt. We mustn't accept any answer or reconciliation in our struggle. The freedom. We are absolutely free to think that we behave as we choose. And passion. We must pursue a life of rich and diverse experiences. Camus claimed that Sisyphus is the idea absurd hero, and that his punishment is representative of the human condition. Sisyphus must struggle perpetually and without hope of success. So long as he accepts that there is nothing more than life than this absurd struggle, then he can find happiness in it, says Camus. And that would be all. Thank you.